Friends, today is Wednesday, May 15, 2024, and we are in a great parable from Matthew 20. The whole first half of that chapter is called The Laborers in the Vineyard. Could also be called The Owner of the Vineyard, because we learn a lot about God and how God operates that's somewhat shocking and surprising in this parable. Yesterday we learned that the owner of the vineyard has strange hiring practices. He doesn't keep his wage bill down. He doesn't apportion his hiring according to the amount of work that is actually needed. He keeps hiring more and more people because he feels badly that they won't have a living wage. They won't have any way to use their gifts and talents. He empathizes with them, so he decides to invest in them even though he doesn't really need them to accomplish the work. And in so doing, he makes a difference in their lives and in the community. But he has another unusual characteristic. It's not only his hiring that is unusual, but it's his payment system. And we're going to hear about that in verses 8 through 12. Let's listen again for the word of the Lord from Matthew 20. When evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his manager, "Call the laborers." So it's 6 p.m., the sun is going down, the workday is over. Call the laborers, give them their pay, but begin with the last and then go to the first. When those hired about 5 o'clock came, now these people were hired with 1 hour of work left. So they worked 1/12. Maybe they take an hour out for lunch. Maybe they worked 1/11 of the day. Maybe a few breaks in between, 1/10 of the day. But they worked somewhere between 8 and 10% of the whole day's labor. They got a denarius, which we learned was a full day's wage. In terms here in Phoenix, it would be about $160 a day, which would be $800 a week and about $40,000 a year. That's a living wage here. Now, when the first came, they thought they would receive more. They were doing a calculation. Can you imagine? Well, we might make 10 times as much. We might make, 10 days of. We might make 10 times 160. We might make $1,600. Maybe he's changed the wage scale. They came in hoping they would get more, but each of them also received $160, a denarius. When they received it, they grumbled against the landowner, and they said, "These last ones worked 1 hour, and you've made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Well, another strange thing about the landowner. He's hiring in a way that reduces his profits and raises his wage bill to invest in the lives of those who otherwise wouldn't have work. And here he does not apportion pay by hours worked. In effect, the hourly rate is different for the people who work different amounts in the day. Those who work a full, a three-quarter, a half, a quarter, and a single hour get the same wage. And so the complaint is this is arbitrary, it's unfair, it's unequal. And so there's grumbling and objection, particularly by those that work the 12 hours. You got one group complaining, and the first group is dancing all the way home. They were able to get a lot for a little. But I want you to notice several things. The first workers agreed immediately on the fair daily wage. They did not object to the wage. It was a fair wage for them. And they were removed from the pool of those who were waiting in uncertainty. They knew they could work for the day. They had a productive task to do so they could use their abilities and their talents. The adding in of workers throughout the day also lessens the work. If you add 4 more crews in, 9 o'clock, a 12 o'clock, a 3 o'clock, and a 5 o'clock, more hands make less work. So they're not really harmed directly, are they, by this? And yet they're very upset about it. I want to ask you a question that will lead into tomorrow's devotional as well. Who do you think is penalized by the owner's pay choices? Let's take a minute and pray. Lord, teach us how to be grateful and not resentful when others are blessed. Help us to be people who look at the world as a kingdom enterprise and not just an opportunity for personal glory or advancement. We ask this in your Son's great name. Amen.